Welcome to your weekend corporate special Companynama, where we give you the corporate and startup highlights of the week. I'm Shrestha Tiwari. Over to the corporate world updates first. Reliance Industries has received the Reserve Bank of India's permission to retain $2 billion over and above the $3 billion it had raised last fiscal in what was the largest syndicated loan facility in years. As per reports, the central bank permission was sought because the amount collected was above the limits mandated by the RBI. Reliance plans to use the money to fund working capital needs and to expand its new energy and telecom business. The company went in for 2 rounds of syndication in which the lenders were willing to offer more than required. Even earlier, RBI has given permission to companies to retain additional money. 5 bidders have expressed interest in taking over the debt-laden Surat-based textile company Sumit Industries. These bidders are UP-based Bhola Ram Papers and Power, Bhilosa Industries and Bhumi Tex Industries of Mumbai, Gujarat's Eagle Group and Silvassa-based Geelong Industries. 2 large companies, Reliance Industries and Kolkata-based Chatterjee Group company MCPI, have not submitted their bids after earlier expressing interest in buying Sumit Industries. The process of merger of HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank has gone a step further. In fact, in relation to HDFC Life and HDFC Ergo, the Competition Commission of India has approved the purchase of additional stake by HDFC Limited on Tuesday. After this approval, the path for merger of HDFC into HDFC Bank is now clear. After the merger, HDFC Bank will hold over 50% in both insurance companies. Meanwhile, buyout group BPA Equity and Indian private equity firm Chris Capital have agreed to acquire a stake of around 90% in education finance company HDFC Credila Financial Services in a deal worth about 11,063 crore rupees. The 2 PE firms will buy the stake in Credila from HDFC for about 9,060.5 crore rupees. They will also infuse 2,003 crore rupees as fresh capital into Credila, HDFC has said. Adani Transmission has got shareholders' approval to raise up to 8,500 crore rupees through issuance of equity shares to QIPs. According to the company's BSE, 98.64% votes were polled in favor of the resolution. The company's board had approved the proposal at a meeting on May 13, 2023. In another update, the Adani Group is in discussions to rope in at least 5 new international banks as it looks to refinance $3.8 billion loans taken for acquisition of ACC and Ambuja Cement last year. The majority of Adani's existing lenders are anticipated to participate in the refinancing. The group has also begun discussions with 2 Taiwanese banks and a Malaysian bank, among others, to expand the consortium of lenders to syndicate the above loan, which will likely entail extension of the payment tenor by 3 years. Indigo Airline announced on Monday that it has made a record order for 500 Airbus A320 aircraft. India's largest airline is maintaining its hold over the Indian aviation market for a while now, with over 60% market share in May 2023. And on to go first, the airline has sought 400 to 600 crore rupees funds to resume flights from July onwards. Go First is looking for funds to support its plans to resume operations in July and operate 78 daily flights with 22 aircrafts. And moving on to SpiceJet, the airline has settled its dispute with aircraft lessor Nordic Aviation Capital. Nordic Aviation has been a major lessor for the airline's Q400 aircraft. The agreement between the airline and the aviation company settles all past liabilities for the Q400s leased by NAC to SpiceJet. Bharat Petroleum Corporation has exercised the right for first refusal in a bid to take control of bankrupt Videocon Oil Ventures Brazilian assets. BPCL's overseas arm BPRL Ventures BV and VOVL's Videocon Energy Brazil had acquired oil blocks in the South American nation as joint venture partners, but they could not develop them due to ongoing bankruptcy proceedings against Videocon Industries and its subsidiaries. Lenders have received BPCL's offer after they decided to sell 3 of the joint ventures assets to Brazilian gas operators Eniva SA and PetroRio last month. BPCL, which has the right of first refusal, decided to make an offer, proceedings from which would be used to repay VOVL's 30,000 crore rupees bank dues. Banks have made claims against Videocon Industries for 63,000 crore rupees, which includes VOVL's dues. Vedanta Resources has to repay a debt of $2.2 billion in the current financial year, and the company is relying on measures like brand monetization, refinancing and transfer of general reserves to retained earnings to keep up with the schedule of its repayment obligations. As per media reports, the total debt falling due on Vedanta Resources in the financial year 2023-24 is about $4.2 billion. The company has already paid $2 billion in the first quarter. The remaining $2.2 billion includes principal requirements of $1.3 billion and interest or intercompany loans. A big portion of the $1.3 billion is a $1 billion bond due in January 2024, the report has said. And from corporate world stories to corporates that were on the radar this week, let's take a look. All the Adani shares were under pressure on Friday after a Bloomberg report said that US authorities, including the Securities and Exchange Commission and Attorney's Office in Brooklyn, New York, are inquiring about the representations made by Adani Group to its American investors in the wake of Hindenburg research report that accused the company of using offshore companies to manipulate its share prices. Most of the shares were trading almost 8 to 10% down. The institutional investors with large holdings in the Indian conglomerate have received inquiries from the Attorney's Office in Brooklyn and SEC asking for the information on what Adani Group told these investors, the report has added. SEBI has barred Eros International Media and 4 others, including Executive Vice Chairman and Managing Director Sunil Lula and Chief Executive Officer Pradeep Dwivedi, from accessing the securities market for alleged diversion of funds and financial misreporting. The 2 others are firms Eros Worldwide and Eros Digital Private. In an interim ex parte order issued on Thursday, SEBI observed that about 1,247 crore rupees has become untraceable, of which nearly 94% has been written off by Eros. In the ongoing investigation, SEBI order further has said that potentially 687 crore rupees had been diverted by Eros. In the order, the regulator noted that Eros appeared to have siphoned off funds using paper companies with no business operations or bogus entities. SEBI also said that it had investigated these entities' financial statements, office addresses and business, and that these firms could not show utilization of funds transferred by Eros. Puneet Goenka, CEO and MD of Zee Entertainment Enterprises, has said that the Zee-Sony merger will go through whether or not he is the CEO of the merged company. Commenting on Sony's statement that it takes SEBI's interim order against Zee promoters very seriously, Goenka said that his interactions with Sony don't seem to be indicating that it is wavering. Meanwhile, arguing before the SAT, Goenka said that SEBI order was unjustified as it did not hear his side. SAT will continue the hearing on June 26th. Commenting on the merger, BOFA Securities has said that the merger is at risk following the SEBI order. According to the brokerage, after merger with Sony, the corporate governance would improve. The brokerage doesn't have any price target on Zee yet. The board of controversy hit PTC India Financial Services has sent its MD and CEO Pawan Singh on leave till his retirement in October amid allegations of corporate misgovernance. RBI recently directed the board to ask the MD to proceed on leave, following which the board on Tuesday approved the directive. PFS has already initiated the process of selecting a new MD and CEO. In January this year, shareholders approved the reappointment of Singh as the MD and CEO. The directive to the MD to go on leave comes in the backdrop of corporate misgovernance issues in the company. Leading stock exchange NSE and its arm NSE Clearing Limited on Tuesday settled the trading glitch case with markets regulator SEBI after paying a settlement amount of over 72 crore rupees. Individually, the National Stock Exchange paid a total of 49.77 crore rupees and NCL 22.88 crore rupees to settle the 2021 case. Trading was halted at the NSE for nearly 4 hours on February 24, 2021, reportedly due to telecom link failures leading to unavailability of the online risk management system of NCL. Well, that was all about the corporate world. Moving on to this week's big updates from the startup world. Let's find out. First up is Byjus. EdTech company Byjus has witnessed the resignation of 3 directors from its board. It is believed that these resignations are due to disagreements with Byju Ravindran, the founder of Byjus. Additionally, the auditor Deloitte has also severed ties with Byjus. The directors who have resigned include G.V. Ravishankar from Sequoia Capital, Vivian Wu from Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, and Russell Dressenstock from Process. Currently, the only remaining board members are Riju Ravindran, Byju's brother, Divya Gokulnath, who is Byju's wife, and Byju Ravindran himself. The company's auditor, Deloitte, has also resigned, citing a lack of alignment with its policies, and it is worth mentioning that Byjus is certainly facing legal proceedings in the United States regarding the non-payment of installment payments amounting to nearly $1.2 billion or around 9,800 crore rupees. The company has stated that it will not make any payments, including interest, to the lenders until a court decision is reached. Consequently, the risk of default has increased for Byjus, and if the court rules against Byjus and the company fails to repay the debt, then even after that, it will result in default. Singapore's Temasek will lead a $300 to $350 million round in Ola Electric, a portfolio firm with an infusion of $100 to $150 million. The deal is in the final stages of due diligence. The funding round is set to take Ola Electric's valuation to $6 billion, 20% higher than the $5 billion it secured last January. Bhavish Agarwal was also said to be in talks with Catamaran Ventures, the VC firm founded by Infosys co-founder N.R. Narayanamurthy. The speculation around a mega funding round also comes as Ola Electric broke ground on its gigafactory in Tamil Nadu earlier this week. With that, it's a wrap on Companynama this week. We'll be back next Saturday, but to get daily corporate updates, watch Corporate Central, Money9's daily dose on corporates and market. Have a safe weekend and don't forget to tune into Money9.